My friends, it's that time of the year again. The holiday season is here, so it's time to sit down once again for a little fireside chat. I know I don't have a fireplace in this room, just imagine one next to me. This year you posted a lot of questions that you want me to answer. Some of them are really funny, others will hopefully help you with a lot of guitar-related frustrations and questions, and some of them are actually really personal and honestly quite hard for me to answer. So this is gonna be a tough video to make for me, but I'm willing to answer any kind of question for you guys and girls since you're the best. So let's dive in right away. El Chicano Tropical asks, should you actually never go shopping if your butthole is itching? Howling Wolf is asking, have you ever felt overwhelmed by the amount of both theory and practice exercises that you have to study in order to become a better player? Yes, it's definitely overwhelming when you look at all the topics you have to master as a guitar player, but I think at a certain point you will realize what kind of player you want to be and what kind of music you want to create, and that will also show you which of those topics you should be hyper obsessed with. Gonzalo Santana Barajas says, how have you been managing frustration for years of playing? That's a great question because I think frustration will always be a part of this. At the beginning of your journey, it might be something that you just can't seem to play, and now as a professional player, it might be a gig you're not completely happy with, and the easiest way of managing this is remembering that what goes down also must go up again. So this guitar-related frustration that you might be feeling right now will definitely balance itself out with great moments if you keep working. Manuel Iacovino asks, my goal in life is to become a virtuoso guitar player. I'm starting to play now at 23 years old. What would you say / suggest to someone like me who has this dream, but at the same time is a little worried that he's starting this musical journey late? So I honestly have to say, I think it's never too late to start with anything in life. In my case, I started this whole YouTube thing very late, in my late 20s. We have to make the best out of the time that's available to us right now. And I honestly think you can definitely achieve this goal of yours. If I would have worked with a structured practice plan from the start, and if I would have not made all of those technique mistakes that I had to correct later on my journey, I would have gotten much faster results. So if you're serious about it and you want my exact practice routine and all of the exercises that helped me the most in the last 4 or 5 years, you can find all of that stuff on Patreon, literal videos of me that you can play along with, so you can closely observe the fretting hand and picking hand technique. That's what I can do to help you on this journey. Let me know in a couple of years if you achieve this goal. Fayad Nazar asks, can you answer my question? Yes. Logic Man asks, I've seen some artists say that it's not a good idea to attempt to make a career in the music industry, at least in the metal world. What's your take on it, and do you think that people should follow their hearts or be reasonable? Never be reasonable. It's a trap! Well, to be honest, it's not exactly the easiest life choice, because when I got my first touring jobs in the extreme metal world with Belphegor, for example, I thought that this could actually be my job, but to be completely honest with you, it would have been impossible back then to become self-employed, to pay all of my bills with this, or to make rent. And it was pretty shocking for me to meet some of my absolute heroes and to learn that they still lived with their parents or grandparents. You kind of imagine that all of these musicians have a great life and they can just live from going on tour here and there. That is sadly not how it works in most cases, especially if you're a session guitar player or a hired gun. But if you're really passionate about it and if this is your dream, you should definitely go for it. I think you just have to be a bit smart about how you do this and about setting up your income streams. Before you decided to be a pro musician / guitarist, was there anything else you considered you might do? When I was a kid, I actually wanted to become a paleontologist, and I think I had a very romanticized view of what that kind of work is all about. As a kid, I kind of thought you might discover a new dinosaur or something every single week. The Fourth Right Gentleman asks, you have mentioned previously about not drinking anymore. As a recovering alco 18 months last week, I would love to know what your reason for stopping was. First of all, congratulations on your sobriety. To be honest, I don't really think I qualified as an alcoholic or anything like that. What I just personally had a problem with was stopping to drink. So if I played a gig that I was really proud of, or if I was just out partying with friends or bandmates, I just couldn't stop after a couple of beers or long drinks and then just go home and call it a night. I would stay out all night and always come home in the morning. So the next day I was obviously hungover and not as productive as I wanted to be. I just felt like it really stood in the way of achieving my true potential, I guess. And I don't really think I could have accomplished everything that I did in those last couple of years if I was still drinking. Andrew K asks, in your guitar / music journey, what's your ultimate goal? At what point / achievement can you finally say, this is it, I've achieved my ultimate goal? That one's easy to answer. I will never be able to say this, hopefully, because a lot of people think it's great to strive for this milestone, this really big goal. And please let me tell you, as soon as you achieve some of these things, you realize the journey there and working all the way to get there was much more enjoyable than just that one moment where you got what you wanted. So this might sound like a dream to a lot of people, reaching that ultimate goal. For me, it actually kind of sounds like a nightmare, if that makes sense. Prudency is asking, how do you manage to get up almost every day and practice at 4 a.m.? Most of the time, so 5 or 6 days a week, I do get up at 4:30 a.m. and start practicing pretty much right away. But it's actually not that crazy because I go to sleep at 9 p.m. every day. But for me, this very early time in the morning just feels extremely special. I'm extremely focused and this has just become a full kind of ritual for me. The next one is from Noam Yuvalor 13. Have you ever thought about making videos more about the songwriting part of metal? One of the biggest problems I have is that I have the chops. I can sweep at like 280 beats per minute, alternate pick cleanly and etc. But I just don't know what to do with those abilities and techniques. First of all, congratulations on your technique. That sounds really awesome. Yes, I already did make some videos, but they did not perform that well on YouTube for a broader audience. So I chose to do full course packages on this topic for Patreon instead. Because over there I can really nerd out with all of you and share my guitar exercise routines. I can share my songwriting and recording approaches. I can also coach members individually in the VIP group. So short answer, I'm pretty confident that it will help you with solving it. Bethany Dunn is asking, are you in a band now? What are your goals? Well, I kind of am. It's more of a hired gun position, I would say. I play for this Austrian pop/rock outlet Salon Speer. So 3 albums so far and they all went to #1 in my small country, which is kind of cool. All of them went platinum and you don't have to sell that many records in Austria to get a platinum record. But it would also be really interesting for me in the future to actually join a band as a real member. I'm definitely more than open to give it a go. Let's see what happens over the next couple of years. Rodrigo Astinza Tostado, do you have any advice for upcoming artists? What would you do differently if you were to start all over again? My biggest advice would be releasing music on a regular basis. I'm going for a song every single week right now if I can. It doesn't have to be this extreme, of course, but I definitely recommend really focusing on singles and making them as great as you can, instead of collecting 15 songs over a long course of time and then just releasing all of them as an album. That's one thing I really regret about my album release Elevation from last year. I ended up with 2 songs that performed really well and the rest of the songs kind of got overlooked. And releasing new music on a regular basis right now also gives me immediate feedback on the song I put out, instead of just working really hard on this big thing, this album for 2 years, and then you realize, okay, nobody's really into that kind of stuff. Jir Carter asks, how hard is it to manage your career and touring and helping everyone that you do learning guitar? It's actually not that bad. I have a schedule that I follow religiously. I do have to make 1 video every week for my Guitar Academy on Patreon, and I also log in every single day to give feedback in the VIP Facebook group or to respond to messages. But whenever I'm touring, I can actually use this opportunity to make content for YouTube. Those were actually some of my most successful videos this year. I just try my best to make interesting content out of it so that I don't have to work on 5 things at the same time. That usually goes pretty badly. Alright, my friends, thanks so much for sitting down with me today for this fireside chat. Honestly, thank you all so much for the incredible support this year. It's really cool to see what we are achieving together here on YouTube, creating this awesome, super positive platform for guitar players or any kind of music lovers to enjoy. I'm really looking forward to continuing that next year. If you're a guitar player yourself and you're looking for something to practice over the holidays, make sure to check out my Guitar Academy on Patreon. The link is down below. Until next time, I suggest checking out this video next in case you missed it. I think you will really like it. Happy holidays, talk to you soon, and greetings from Vienna. Bye bye.